Dramatic hero deaths are the bread and butter of the comic industry. The vast majority of iconic comics contain at least one superhero succumbing to a badass or tragic death, or otherwise at least the implication that they do, and it's these moments that are often the exact reason we consider them as monumental as they are. However, this doesn't mean that every death in comics is equally impactful. In fact, for every emotional and purposeful death, there are a handful of weird, pointless, or just straight-up dumb superhero demises, often from the exact same characters. This isn't necessarily a bad thing though, as it's these dumb deaths that make the spectacular ones seem all the more amazing, like seeing a man be killed by an elephant, or Josh Brown getting accidentally exploded by his stockpiled arsenal of hairspray. Seriously, that man must be stopped. Perhaps more importantly, these silly or odd deaths also hold a similarly memorable spot in all of our hearts, albeit more in making you wonder every now and then what on earth caused the creators to come up with it, instead of being in awe at the fact that they did. Not every hero death can be heroic, and it's well worth appreciating the strange and insignificant ones just as much as the important ones. So, I'm Ewan, this is What Culture Comics, and here are the 10 dumbest ways superheroes have died. Number 10. The Spider-Birth. There are few moments in the entire Spider-Man franchise more genuinely horrific than when Peter Parker, having been bitten by the villain known as the Queen and unknowingly injected with a mysterious toxin, promptly dies by birthing an actual Spider-Man. It's literally the plot of endless body horror stories, and the slow pacing of Peter slowly succumbing to the strange spider poison is as strange as it is gross, while also managing to be maybe the dumbest way that Peter Parker has died yet. And if you count alternate universes, that's including an unearthly amount of deaths. Including that disgusting one where Sandman fills him up with all the sand and he explodes. Jesus Christ, that image is scarring. The seeming sole purpose of having Peter do this bizarre death reincarnation cycle appears to be for the simple freak-out factor of witnessing someone progressively transform into a spider. And in that regard, we have to admit it does the job all too well. Number 9. Chip versus traffic. Seeing a noble hero defeated by a yellow truck shouldn't be funny, by all means. But there's something about the idea of a Green Lantern, defenders of the galaxy capable of doing battle with Sinestro and cosmic entities of untold power, being dunked on by a truck full of ice cream or groceries. That's just totally hilarious. In fact, the entire comic this belongs to, the bizarre gem that is the second issue of Green Lantern Mosaic, is almost entirely this level of weird, with the majority of it committed to showing us how Chip fits in amongst his fellow animal brethren. The comic does make you feel kinda bad for its superpowered squirrel though, as it's revealed that it's a drunk driver, which means it's more irresponsible driving than rodent recklessness that's the fault of Chip's demise. Number 8. Nightwing in Injustice. Of all the deaths in Injustice, there is one whose tragedy is matched by its mundanity, the death of Nightwing, within the first volume or year of the series. During a fight between Nightwing and Robin, the younger hero throws this climber stick at Grayson, who catches the stick right to the temple, stumbles, and then falls on a rock that breaks his neck. It's been a much begrudged moment by fans for how minor falling on some rock is in terms of causing a major superhero death, especially in a series where people are vaporized into blood spray or torn limb from limb more ferociously than Jules looking for his next one per list joke. That being said, the everyday nature of the death works well in terms of the plot because it's such a possible mistake that it makes the resulting conflict and complete outbreak of rage from Batman all the more understandable. Number 7. Juggernaut versus a poison dart. Given that Juggernaut is such a powerful force of nature that he has beaten heroes such as the likes of Thor and the Hulk, it seems kind of silly that his big death scene at the end of the Ultimate X-Men series involves him being nobly defeated by a poison dart. It's such a tiny thing and such an absolutely minuscule wound to take that it just ends up feeling really weird that it's the thing that kills him. Even worse, it takes him out almost immediately, which makes one of the most powerful non-magical villains look like a total weakling for literally no good reason. While the Ultimate series is no stranger to weird, needless, and accidentally hilarious deaths, the Juggernaut going down to some evil ibuprofen really is the lamest of them all. Number 6. Grasshopper's bad luck. The Great Lakes Avengers aren't exactly the toughest bunch of folks that have ever banded together into a superhero team. Indeed, they may arguably be the superheroes that are easiest to kill of all the universe's superhero teams, a fact proven by Grasshopper, who dies a whopping 5.8 seconds into his time with the illustrious superhero group. Grasshopper literally accepts a position with the team mid-flight, turns around, and is then stabbed in the head by their opponents, in a visual representation of what it's like to see someone's hope crushed before your very eyes. It's played off as a group, fair enough, but it's also kind of a shame, as Grasshopper is one of the more interesting members of the GLA, although this may potentially be because we get to learn summarily nothing about him before he dies. Number 5. Batman has a heart attack. Of all the badass, tear-jerking, awe-inspiring ways we've seen Batman die over the years, him having a heart attack in the middle of a fight is perhaps the single lamest way the Dark Knight has ever kicked the bucket. Which isn't to suggest that having a heart attack isn't a very reasonable and very real way for any human to go out, but rather that, with the amount of absolutely insane and convoluted body conditioning Bruce has undergone, practically making every aspect of himself as close to superhuman as possible, he still wasn't able to do anything about potential heart palpitations. Naturally, being the gosh dang Batman, he is revived through some repressed alter ego shenanigans, and it only leaves the whole brief death scene feeling all the more jarring, in no small part because said alter ego is supposed to be an absolute last resort, meaning the Bat had no actual plan for such a possible scenario. Number 4. Superman's Assassin Club. Of the entire unadapted Superman comic collection, the one issue that most desperately deserves to be made into a film has to be Superman 188, which sees the hero discover that there is basically a school of assassins who have specifically dedicated themselves to trying to kill the Man of Steel, for motivations that are murky at best. And that's not even the most ridiculous moments of the comic, as while their initial attempt to kill Superman fails because they accidentally try to kill an actor playing Superman, one of the assassins successfully kills the Man of Steel through spreading kryptonite through radio waves. It's all the classic weirdness of the original Silver Age comics, and so cheesy that when a robot replica of Superman grows feelings for his real but dead counterpart and tries to revive him, you're honestly not all that surprised. Would a love story between Superman and Robo-Superman be worth briefly forgetting about Lois Lane? Quite possibly. Number 3. Deadpool versus an elephant. While there's pretty much endless deaths to choose from explosions, having a human parasite living in him, and other superheroes to name but a few causes, the most hilariously weird of these is unmistakably the time Deadpool was gored by an elephant, and still made time to crack jokes while his internal organs slowly started being external organs. It's the most classically in-character moment that Deadpool can get, where he's about to die for at least a good couple of minutes before he regenerates, but also pretty chill about the situation at large. If everyone was as relaxed about their mortality as Wade Wilson, the world would be a much better place, or otherwise, full of a lot of corpses. Number 2. Superboy accidentally explodes PANTHA. In the definitive moment likely to have Infinite Crisis considered not appropriate for kids, we are treated to one of the most confusing deaths in comic history, as Superboy Prime manages to explode someone entirely by accident. Proving that PANTHA calling him a stupid kid is actually entirely correct, Superboy goes to launch a punch behind him, and, not thinking of his immense strength, unwittingly puts his all into it, exploding PANTHA's head like dynamite in a watermelon. The blow is so powerful that Ambush Bug is knocked unconscious by the force that PANTHA's decapitated head hits him with, which somewhat undermines Prime's argument that he didn't mean to do it. It's the precise point you learn how far this Superboy is willing to go, as his assurances that it was all a total mistake are almost immediately countered when he kills another superhero right afterwards. Number 1. Hulk decapitated by justice. It's pretty surreal to think that the Hulk, a hero who once held an entire planet together, punched apart asteroids and has done pretty much every major feat of strength at least once, was once taken out by a lazy throw of Captain America's shield. The whole thing would be insulting enough for the strength the Hulk is supposed to have, but to make matters worse, the shield wasn't even thrown by Captain America, but one of Ultron's henchmen instead. This may explain the weird expression on the Hulk's face, as instead of a tragic expression, the big green giant looks more like he's opened the fridge to find there's no food in there. Sort of like a oh. For what looks to have been intended as a big, surprising death, the actual fact is that seeing the Hulk destroyed by one poxy swing of the Vibranian shield only feels surprising because you're left vaguely sure it shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Hello YouTube, we're turning things up to 11 with the launch of What Culture Music.
It's our brand new channel featuring all those lists you just can't get enough of, including creepy hidden messages in your favourite pop songs.
As well as radio-friendly songs that detail literal murder. That's as well as Chatty Faces, where we get personal with you on our sordid musical tastes, in-depth discussion podcasts, and we're even doing quality fun stuff like tournaments and quizzes too.
There's going to be something for everybody, so come on over and make some sweet music with us.
Or just watch the videos, that works too.
Like, share and subscribe at the link below and we will see you there.
Bye.
And that was our list. What superhero deaths do you think are the most ridiculous? Be sure to let us know in the comments below so I can laugh each of them personally, and then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can find more articles like this on whatculture.com/comics. That's all for now though, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!